Oh, what the fuck? That's gotta be the worst image I've ever seen. Come on, bro. We gotta put that shit.
Hey guys, how you doing? So today I figured I'd take a look at a character called Graves from the hit game Deadlock. And for those of you who don't know what Deadlock is, just imagine like you took League of Legends and you took Overwatch and then you just had a nice little meeting together and they ended up creating God's Abomination. If those two games sound like absolute cancer to you and you don't want anything to do with this shit, I understand that. But I'm not here to convince you whether or not you want to play the game. However, through my various matches I had, through some toxicity in the chat, after all, it is very much like League, and if you feed, you are dog shit at the game, you're a pedophile, you're gay. Now, I'm not really sure what the difference between those three things are, but you just get called that. Now, I don't really play this character at all. I mean, I don't know what you expect. I'm a content creator. You think I put any effort into this gameplay? You think I put any effort into anything that I do? Come on, man. You're expecting too much. I'm not actually good at the game or anything like that. I just clip videos of like a couple times I do good, and then that's all you're gonna see. In fact, I mean, if you even mention that I get dog walked on your average match, I'm just gonna ban you. Like, get out of your shoe, little sewer rat. Get out of my chat. I don't want to see you. So with all that being said, the gameplay you're going to see on screen is probably some of the worst you've ever seen. Or at least they were some of the worst matches I've had, because I got steamrolled like 90% of the time. So I'm just a trash tier player, but you know what? I may not be the best Graves player, but I don't aim for that. What I can be is I can be the worst. So as with all of these deadlock patches that happen, it seems that Yoshi likes to hit the crack pipe before releasing changes. Graves went on a wild ride, a wild roller coaster, if you will. There's times she was nerfed, she was buffed, and most of the time it's just been kind of going back and forth. And the most recent patch I played with, it was just a patch dedicated to her, and guess what? She just got nerfed. I guess they didn't like the fact that she could do double the damage with Ricochet in a team fight, applying all debuffs at double the rate, but, you know, I didn't mind that. And so now, we get into her design. Oh, and I ended up getting into the unofficial Deadlock Discord, and I posted this sticker right here. The one that they added themselves, and they just decided to ban me for it. So yeah, I'm sure the moderators look exactly as how you would expect them to look. Alright, so her design is pretty sick, bro. Like, I've always liked that depressed goth style. I listen to too much Billie Eilish, Lil Peep, and XXXTentacion. I don't even know if people even listen to them anymore, but you get the point. And she pulls it off pretty well. So firstly, we got the ice. And she's just got some random ass trinkets she found laying around in her room, and she tied it into the shape of a skull's face. Because of course nothing screams edgy teen necromancer like skulls and shit. It'll be a very common theme, but this in particular is like those weird trinkets those witch taunt girlies would just find lying around their house, and they just string it together and try and put it off as some like ancient pagan ritual, when in reality they're just like spouting nonsense, just trend chasing. Although, I mean, Graves can't actually summon the dead, so she gets a pass on this one. Now, on her wrist, on the flick of her wrist, she's got an enormous spike bangle that could just straight up kill her if she fucking waved her hand a little bit off. She brought it a little too close to her neck. She's got some coffin earrings just to really send the point home that she spends a lot of time in graveyards blasting MCR. And then we got whatever the fuck this thing is with the chain. Yeah, so I was actually curious if there was like a specific style for this type of chain, or like a reason why she's wearing it like this, but I came across something called dookie ropes. So I think I'm just gonna call them dookie ropes from now on. She also has some like Jack Skellington green pin as well. So that's pretty neat. So she's got some pretty cool looking hair too. It's must be an absolute bitch to put up every day. I couldn't imagine the pain that she'd have to go through every morning. It's like she spends a couple hours in the morning doing her hair before she goes off to the DMV to wait in line another hour just to get her tabs renewed. So I don't know about you, but that's pretty painful. That's a pretty busy day. She's got her school blazer jacket thing on, which is a bit large for her. I don't know what she was thinking with that one. She's got a couple skirts on that kind of just layer on top of each other, which I can kind of understand what she's getting on with that. She's like an ethereal ghost, kind of, if you get what I mean. She's got ripped stockings. She can put on some combat boots because you really just can't be a depressed goth with family issues without these two key features. And now hold your surprise because you're about to shit yourself with this revelation. You see that bag? That's right, it's designed like it's a skull. So Graves here grew up with parents who were both defense attorneys, and they were too busy performing damage control after certain files released, and they just couldn't bring themselves to raise her. And I mean, it really shows because do you want to know what her real name is? Darcy. She's fucking Darcy. Like, it's like naming your son Bud, or Buddy. Like, damn, bro, I feel for you. So rather than quite literally dead naming her, I'll just keep calling her Graves. She would spend most of her time at the local graveyard and talk with the dead like an actual schizo because her parents were too focused on using the long arm of the law to keep the elite of society evading punishment. Now, obviously, when she would talk to the dead, they didn't talk back because, I don't know, they're dead. But one day it all changed and she started to hear whispers that responded to her. And so, just instead of clocking herself into grippy sock vacation time, she decided to respond and actually have conversations with them. Eventually, these whispers led her to the Bronx in Van Cortlandt Park. And just so I can reiterate this, we have this young high school girl wandering a park in the Bronx in the middle of the night because voices told her to. And not only this, she ends up digging up a lead-lined box and opens it. And then she just finds a severed hand inside of it. So, free tuberculosis, I guess. Overall, Graves is pretty insane. Not for the whole hand thing, but for wandering a park in the middle of the night in the Bronx. But yeah, it turns out the hand belonged to a very powerful lich, and Graves wants to help her now. And then the patrons, which are these huge deities you end up killing at the end of each game. They both talk about how Graves works tirelessly to honor the dead and grant the peace, so these souls are in her debt. But I really gotta ask, what kind of debt do I have to be in just to endlessly kamikaze charge throw myself right into these towers for this teenage girl who's stuck in what is essentially League of Legends elo hell? Like, oh yes, random e-girl, let us get out of silver post-haste. I would love to sacrifice my life to hit gold countless times over and over again. What do you mean we lost 7 matches in a row? Oh, and through her voice lines, it turns out she really likes cats, she hates cops, and she seems to be a weeb because of her obsession over Yamato. All in all, I can tell her favorite anime are like Death Note and Tokyo Ghoul. And fucking maybe even Black Butler, I don't know. You know what, we're just gonna throw in Shiki and Hellsing for the fuck of it. So this segment's gonna be pretty short because there's not really much I can talk about, but do you like not aiming? Do you like having your abilities do everything for you? And more importantly, pissing people off because apparently they think Graves takes no skill while they sit there on someone like Drifter or Wraith as a mouse one hero and just click one button killing everything on the field. Because realistically, they can complain all they want because they're losing, but at the end of the day, I'm going positive and winning. I don't really care, bro. And so her abilities just pretty much consist of summoning skulls that people can just honestly melee sweep in a single hit. If I can just kill all of them. A route that realistically you can just jump over if you're not retarded. They got essence theft. It's not really all that interesting to talk about because they got rid of the extra tether for my ricochet. Nerfed the shit out of this one. And finally, she's got an ulti that dies in pretty much 2 heavy melees that you can use to kind of block off areas and spawn ghouls. And these ghouls owe Graves an infinite jihad into tower. So yeah, that's Graves for you.
Let's do this.